Germany exists since the late 1940s. After World War II, the Federal Republic of Germany was established. So if you talk about Germany, it's a very young country. So I know it is very complicated. Is it a little bit easier to understand now what the political background was in Europe? Yeah. The question was, which is the best city in Germany? Somebody says, of course, Munich. Well, I would say it's depending on your point of view. Munich is definitely a very good city because, first of all, big companies are based here, internationally operating companies and local companies. So the employment situation in Munich is very good. But wherever you have a good aspect, you also have a negative component. The negative side would be housing, for example. Housing. It's super expensive. Munich is the most expensive city in the country. And you could only become an emperor after the election and with the blessings of the Pope. We are until today in a Christian world. Majority in Bavaria is Catholic until today. So without the blessings of the Pope, no state could function at all in the old days. Nowadays it's different, but in the old days. So the emperor was the head of this kind of early European Union. Similar like today, subdivided into different countries and districts, and each and every one of those countries was ruled by a royal family, and in status they were either dukes or earls or kings, depending on their hierarchy within the union. Munich are museums nowadays to a great extent. Now, Nymphenburg is one of the popular museums as well, and BMW Museum. So you've visited already two famous places, and in the very end of this street we would find the Royal Palace, which is located in the historic centre. So that's one of the locations I am going to show you in a few minutes. So we are just turning into the historic centre now. So once we've turned around, everything which is on our left hand side is part of the historic city of Munich. Everything on our right hand side was countryside originally, and the street, the outline of this street here is following the outline of the city wall. We don't have the city wall any longer, but it was located here. Now the plan for the rest of the afternoon is, there's all condominiums nowadays, but you can still see how elegant most of those houses are. There looks large gardens, and these neighborhoods, these locations close to any royal palace attracted the upper class ever since. And in the old days, about 350 years ago, only the very rich people of the upper class could afford those locations, and they wanted to show off how rich they are. So locations close to royal palaces were always popular because people wanted to be as close as possible to the royal family at these locations. Now on the left hand side there is the Nymphenburg Canal, and that takes us directly to the palace. The canal is rather wide, but let me tell you, it's very shallow. It's only about 1 foot, 1.5 feet deep. And therefore it freezes over very quickly in winter, And then it's one of the locations where people go ice skating. And then it looks very beautiful. The glittering frost all over the trees, the frozen canal, lots of people out and about. This winter it was very mild until January, February, and then suddenly it became very, very cold. So we had temperatures. And I tried to make it as easy as possible. Maybe it gives you a better idea how it did work. Now, originally, Bavaria, one of them is used for the summer concerts, outdoor concerts, the other one in the colder seasons. If you like to take pictures now on the left hand side, that's just an amazing view with the tower and the stadium. You can see the light posts. Olympic Stadium was used after the Olympic Games as a football stadium. Sites in town which is called the Palace of Nymphenburg. Nymph's Castle. If you palace in the middle of nowhere. They started with the construction 350 years ago. It took about 80 years to build what is there until today. It's one of the biggest Baroque palaces in the country. So we'd like to take you there for a little brief photo stop. Well, we should travel together for a couple of more days to come up with even more ideas. Yes, unfortunately you're going home tomorrow. Well, it is a shame, but maybe you're coming back one day. And bring back lots of wonderful ideas. So we drive towards the city centre now, and we approach the city coming from the east. So the street we turn onto in a minute is one of the old... Yeah, we are getting closer towards the centre. Now, this neighbourhood used to be countryside originally, a little village. This, you know, in this neighbourhood you had lots of clay. This huge building on the right hand side is home to the Philharmonic Hall and the big city library. And we go down the hill now. So all of this hill and basically the entire countryside around Munich was created by the last ice age that ended about 10,000 years ago, and it really cut into the landscape. So therefore we have these hills here. So you just not as convenient as it was. Anyway, we head towards the city centre now, and as many of you have asked me already, now it's time to walk around the centre and discover the main square called Marienplatz and a few other places in the historic city centre. So that involves a little bit of walking, and after the city walk we come back to the coach and go back to the hotel. So that's the plan for now.